Hey everybody, it's Wendy with Love and Stampin'. I'm so happy you're here today. Thanks so much for joining me. We are going to make pretty much the same card 3 different ways, but first I wanted to show you these colors. These are the retiring in colors. This means they will no longer be available come like June. So you can get them now. As far as I know, none of them are on back order and they are still in stock, but they will sell out. So just an FYI. Excuse me. We're using epoxy elements, tags and bloom stamp set, the Label Me Fancy? I can't remember. There's a Label Me Lovely and Label Me Fancy punch. This stamp set is free with a $100 order. So you can't buy it, but you can get it free with a $100 order. So we're going to use Lovely Lipstick cardstock for our card bases. And these are the cards that we're making. I'm just going to show them to you first because there's a couple that we're not going to actually make together. So this one, all I did was stamp that little dotted stamp over and over in a pattern. And then this one I stamped and layered in all the colors. And then, excuse me, this is my favorite one, the one we're about to make. So I thought I would go ahead and make it with you. But I wanted to show you how you could do seriously like the exact same supplies in so many different ways. So the first 2 cards you saw are using the half of a, I guess we're going to do this card. This is not my favorite one. I think we're doing 2 actually. So, what was I telling you? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Okay. So, the scalloped circle I cut in half, and then the strip of Me Clover cardstock is cut at a 1/2 inch by 5.5. And so basically I just was like, how can I reuse these exact same supplies to get totally different looking cards? And I think I accomplished it. So the cool thing about this stamp set is it's got stamps to color for you. So you don't have to color these flowers. You're just going to use the stamp and stamp right on top of your outline. Now, if you want to be really precise, and it would stress you out to have any white showing in your flower like mine are, then you just have to get over the top of the flower and make sure you line it up really well. It does line up perfectly and it does stamp perfectly in the flower. However, I personally, 2 things. First of all, when you're filming, the only way to get directly over the top of something is to put your head right in the way of the camera. Second thing is I don't care. The way that I'm going with this look is basically it's just kind of a loose colored look. It's not precise and perfect. So I'm okay with the fact that the flowers are not perfectly filled in, if that makes sense. The other thing is that you could always take a marker and go back in, a matching marker, and fill in any spots that are white that you didn't get it stamped perfect. Okay, there's a little bitty leaf in the stamp set that I'm going to use here, and I'm just going to randomly stamp it kind of all over in the different areas where there's not a flower. And then I'm going to use, this is Me Clover, and I'm going to use Grapefruit Grove to fill in the centers of these flowers. These colors are really fun, and I'm going to be super sad to see them go. Particularly Me Clover, Pineapple Punch, and Blueberry Bushel. They are my 3 favorites, I think, out of all of them. Lovely Lipstick was my favorite early on, and then I just kind of fell in love with the other colors. So that tends to happen. That's pretty normal. I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 colors ever that I was like, I'm never going to like that color. But ultimately, it kind of works that, you know, you start using colors and you find out, oh, I really love this. So if you want the ink refills, the markers, the stamp pads, all of that, you've got to get them now, because beginning in April, they will start selling out. I've seen it happen time and time again, and then I get messages where people are upset because they didn't get whatever it was that they were really wanting, and I'm always like, I'm sorry, I did my best to warn you that this was going to happen. Love you bunches. Don't know what to tell you now. So don't be that guy. Okay, let's have a little bit of story time, shall we? I think I've gone over most things you need to know, and we'll hop back and forth between the card. If you're new to my channel, this is kind of a card making / vlog channel. So what that means is I kind of share some of the stuff going on in my personal life and different random stories and things like that, along with showing you how to make a card. So if that's not your jam, I totally get it. You are welcome to unsubscribe or skip right past my video, and we will be friends, and it's no problem. Okay, so diving into story time and some of the things going on. First and foremost, if you follow my channel, you know that I had a whole discussion with you regarding chickens recently. My baby chick video, which I will link here or below in the description. If you didn't see the baby chick video, you might want to watch that one first for story context. But basically, I was like Miss Tough Girl, right? And I was like, I don't care about chickens. Chickens aren't that big of a deal. We have chickens, farm life, country life, rah, rah, rah. And so let me just tell you that God has a sense of humor, okay? He just does. And when we run our mouths about certain things, he's like, let me just show you. Hold my holy water and watch what's about to happen. So, that being said, I want to preface it with what I'm about to tell you, that it was a bit of a learning lesson for me. Okay, so I don't even remember when it was, but it was this last week sometime. Basically, we had a hawk that we've never had this happen, okay? We had a hawk that discovered we had baby chicks. And I happened to be outside when this happened. So I was like, okay, I see that there's something happening. I'm going to go over to the coop. So I go over to the coop. And I'm looking, and okay, here's the other card I made. So we're going to make that card. And this one is my favorite. This is my favorite of the three. Starting the same, lovely lipstick, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half. Literally the measurements of everything are the same, except this is embossed with the tufted embossing folder. So the measurement of this is 4 by 5.25. The little strip is a 1/2 inch by 5.5. And then we have half a scallop circle punch. And we're using the same punch, the same stamp set, everything. So here we go. I'm out there and the chickens are making a commotion. I go over, I see a hawk. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So the hawk proceeds to swoop down into the pen and try to take the baby chicks. I throw a, I don't know what you call it. It's a scooper. It's a scooper for my chicken feed. I was out there feeding and fixing the chicken coop up. And this hawk swoops down, tries to steal one of the baby chicks. I throw the scooper at it. I freak out. I'm like, get out of here. It flies up into the tree right next to the coop and is just watching me. And it's so creepy. And so I'm yelling at it and telling it, go on, and it's not leaving. And so finally, after standing there for a little bit, the hawk flies off. So I'm like, okay, it's leaving. And I'm going to go out of the coop, get some stuff to try to lure the chickens into the closed coop. So we have an enclosed coop with a door on it, and then we open that door, and then they can come out into this area that's all fenced off. So they were out in the fenced off area when this happened. So I'm now attempting to try to get them all into the coop where I can shut the door where they will be completely safe, because there's a roof, and the fencing goes all the way to the roof, so there's no way the hawk can get them. Okay, so I go out of the coop. I am not kidding you. I was out of the coop for maybe 3 minutes, and that stinking hawk came, circled around our house, came over the top of our house, swooped down into the coop, and took one of my baby chicks. I was lit. The mom is freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to throw stuff to get it to drop it. It flies off with the chick. At this time, I think it's taken both of them because I only have 2. So I'm thinking it's got them both, and I'm so upset, and I start to cry because the mom is so frantic and freaking out, and I feel so bad, and I think that both of the babies are gone. And the mom was so upset, she squeezed herself through the fencing, which is small, and she's a big chicken, and tried to chase the hawk. And the first time the hawk came around, the mom flew up at it and like chased it away, and it didn't get the chickens, the babies. So I'm crying. I mean, I'm not blubbering, but I have tears coming down, and I'm apologizing out loud to the mother chicken. And I'm like, I'm so sorry it took your baby. I'm so sorry. I mean, it was very traumatic to watch. So here I am, Miss Tough Girl, country girl, running my mouth last week about how they're just chickens. I don't care about them. It's not a big deal. It's just part of country life. Okay, well, I had never witnessed a predator come into the coop and take one of my animals. It was very shocking. It was very National Geographic. And so I screamed bloody murder when it happened. So my husband comes running outside and he's like, what happened? I'm like, that dang hawk, which I'm going to admit, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. I didn't say dang. I was lit. And I'm like, it came back and it got my baby, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, calm down. So now my poor chickens have been locked up in their coop for a week or more because the stinking hawk keeps coming back. It knows now. And so after all this trauma happens, I figure out that there is one baby left. I find it under a bush. It's being very quiet. It's sitting there. The mother's crazed. So we finally get all the chickens and the baby back into the coop. We shut the door, and there they have remained. And their coop is really nice. It's not like they're living rough, but it still is a bummer that they can't get out and roam and free range. So it's just one of those things where it is country life, that's for sure. But I spoke my butt too soon, and God was like, yeah, watch this. Let me tell you how tough you aren't. And so that's what happened. And it was really, really, really sad. And so now I'm down to 1 baby chick, which, by the way, I started with 4, right? I started with 4, and the mother killed 2. And then the hawk took 1. So I've got 1 left. And so that's annoying and frustrating because I was trying to build our brood back up because things happen like hawks stealing your chickens. So anyway, if you know how to get rid of a hawk outside of shooting it, let us know. It may come to that if it's in the middle of taking another one of our chickens. I don't know what to do. So yeah, if you have some fantastic advice for me, I'd love to hear it. So that was my major drama for the week and my big, huge learning lesson regarding, saying things. We just have to be careful what we say because then we never know when a situation is going to change how we feel or respond to something. So you would think by 39 years old I would have figured that out, but I still run my mouth like nobody's business and then put my big old foot right in it. So that's what happened. It is what it is, you know? Okay, so I'm finishing this card up, punching 1 more punch out, going to stamp it in lovely lipstick. And I think that these two sentiments, wishing you the best and I miss your face, are really fun. Wishing you the best can really work for anything. It can work for a wedding. It could work for a birthday. It could work for getting well. It all kind of just depends on what you write on the inside. I also feel like it could be used for a naughty card, like a mean card. You could send that and inside then write like, wishing you the best life ever. Peace out. I'm done. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, that popped in my head when I was making this card. And my sister-in-law, she's always had this idea that I should make, like, not naughty cards, but like she has this whole idea to start an entire company of making, like, mean cards to send to people that have been mean to you. And I'm like, no, I'm never going to do that. That's so awful and against everything that I believe in. But I will admit she came up with it when she was going through a pretty hard time in her life. So anyway, there's the finished product. I love them. I think they are so cute and they turned out great. If you want to see another video from me, click either one that you see here. Click the circle with my face in it to subscribe. All the supplies and information is listed below the video. Shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com. And make sure you're following me on Instagram because I've been really busy there sharing and doing some fun stuff that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Talk to you later.